Where the scourge of drug abuse has continued to ravage Nigerian society, and the military is beginning to feel the pang of its impact on the troops. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, has decried the rising cases of drug abuse among soldiers deployed for military operations. General Lagbaja raised the alarm in Sokoto while declaring open a one-day seminar on warrior ethos with the theme Optimizing Warrior Ethos in the Nigerian Army, a panacea for operational effectiveness. The Army Chief expressed hope that the seminar would address the issue of drug abuse among soldiers. BKO, has it gotten so bad where soldiers now use hard drugs to face terrorism? I mean, how did we get here?
You know, there are many people in our armed forces who had been habitual drug users before they found their way into the armed forces. So it's not like something that they just started today. There's a policeman here in Lagos who used to go into an uncompleted building in the Ojodu area. Once it's around 1 o'clock, he will leave his duty post to come and smoke in the hemp there. And sometimes when he goes there to smoke in the hemp, he will find soulmates who have also come
to do same,
to smoke in the hemp. Now, those are people that he should be arresting. But he won't arrest them because he came to do what those boys too came to do. So this extraordinary itch for drug use is not something that those soldiers just got into recently. Some may have been using drugs since their secondary school days.
Before they got into
the army, you know. So this is the problem that we face. So once they go, whether they those who have been using drugs since their university days, their secondary school days, even when they become successful bankers, successful politicians, you see them using drugs. And that's why, look, today, if they decide to do a urine test
on many of
the soldiers, many of our soldiers, including generals.
Including generals?
A lot of them, I'm telling you, a lot of them will be in trouble. I dare them to do a urine test, random urine test for the officers and men, whether we won't be embarrassed by the outcome.
That's a really strong...
No, see, you know, let me tell you, when the SARS was disbanded nationwide, they were told to come to Abuja to await the next line of action.
Okay.
They did urine test on them. And so many of those SARS operatives failed the urine test.
Wow.
Yes. What I'm saying is not fiction. This is the truth that they can't deny. They can't deny. So a lot of people, policemen, SARS men, other people in the tactical teams of the police, of the army, they use drugs. This is not the first time. On the 23rd of August, the Army Chief Lagbaja also lamented about 2023. So this is not the first time he's complaining. I'm saying that on the 23rd of August 2023,
last year,
General Lagbaja also made a similar complaint that drug use among troops was becoming a problem. So there's a lot of work to do, because if he complained about a year ago,
and he's still complaining,
a year and 1 month ago, and he's still complaining about the prevalence of drug use among his soldiers, then that means the thing has
gotten to
it has gotten to this point for him. And when there is rampant drug use, it will lead to the committing of other crimes. Somebody using drugs can turn his weapon on
the others,
soldiers, what you call friendly fire. It can even happen during the war. He can turn his weapon against people that they are supposed to be fighting on the same side and kill them. We saw that during the Gulf War. American troops, some American soldiers turned their guns on
their fellows,
on their colleagues fighting. They call it friendly fire. You know, so, and we've seen too in Adamawa and some other places where soldiers gunned down colleagues. And that's why we always suggest that, look, don't keep soldiers for too long at a location.
True.
A soldier who has been too long, he has not seen his family and all that. This could lead to soldiers even turning their weapons against one another.
Okay, yes, what should the military hierarchy be doing right now to purge its ranks? This is a serious one.
Yeah.
You know about the Chief of Army Staff.
I think, you see, the use of drug is one of the worst vices in any society. And to now have it within the security circle even makes it, appalling. There are so many consequences. Unprofessional use of weapons, indiscipline, sabotage. A soldier that is on drugs, sent to operation, can sabotage his colleagues. Because at that time, he's not acting out of his own free will. He's acting based on external influence. And even for his own personal, negative impact, violent relationship, even with his children and his families. So, in dealing with this problem, we need a holistic solution. Why do soldiers also go into taking drugs? One of those the reasons is accessibility. If drug is accessible to them, they know they can access it, they will have it. Then stress. When some of them are sent to the war front and they are there for many years, they don't have access to Medicare, anti-venom, like if you are in some areas where there are snakes, you don't have enough equipment, then sometimes you are subjected to emotional abuse. It can compel you to begin to use drugs. So some of them think the best way is to use drugs in order to the need for alertness, so that you can confront a particular situation. But that's not the solution, because it will only act for some moment and then it will go away. So I think the army needs a new orientation, psychological approach.
Okay.
And then they also need to deal with emotional trauma that those who have gone to war front go through. When you see dead bodies almost every day, see blood, you can turn you to do what you don't really want. So we need a psychological, sociological, all sort of approach, so that we don't just condemn them. Many of them are afraid to even go for mental health because they are afraid they may be dismissed. So they just keep the problem. And I think what they are suggesting is what some other people do in other countries. They need to do periodic tests. That will put fear to the minds of individuals.
Now, mental health wellness of our soldiers should be a priority here, isn't it?
Of course. We need to put enough psychologists around them, whether they are clinical psychologists or just psychologists. They need them who can counsel them from time to time. Some of these soldiers also get involved in trafficking of drugs as well.
Okay.
One Olanrewaju Lawal on the 8th of March was arrested for trafficking of tramadol and other drugs. So, and he belonged to an organization that had been into drug trafficking.
Wow.
For God's sake, that's supposed to be a soldier. Eventually they put him on trial, so he's been taken out of the system now. So we need to take seriously this issue. For the army chief to have complained twice, that's to tell you that it's a very serious
It's a very, very serious
issue.
And that suggestion you gave, periodic urine test.
They should do it.
Even for generals.
Everybody.
3 years ago,
not just for soldiers.
Yes, you see, it's not easy to wean yourself of drug use if you had been used to it.
True.
It's extremely difficult.
True.
Somehow you go back to it. It's just like somebody who likes drinking. There are occasions when you suddenly be tempted. You know that this thing can cost you your life. But that urge, that itch to take it is
Because it
always
gives you
there. It's always
satisfaction.
there. When they see their friends, old friends, they say, bring the thing, you know. Senior people, whether they are senators, or they still smoke.
Sure.
They smoke in their home, they smoke cannabis, you know.
The military needs to work with NDLA.
Yeah, the NDLA needs to be brought in here. But anyway, all right, gentlemen, let's go to